this is the exchange that happened. It's ominous that she's just waiting for this.
Oh, no, it was just an accident, mate. It wasn't set up.
Oh, absolutely. It's this photo op. And the funny thing is, at the end of it, you'll notice where Craig Kelly ends up walking to. It actually turns out he didn't have to actually engage. But anyway, let's see what he had to say.
Tanya's normally the one.
Yeah.
You making any big announcements?
Yes, I'm actually telling them that the team stop you spreading these crazy conspiracy theories.
Did you hear about Professor Clancy? You've got to listen to our most senior immunologist, Tanya. It's Professor Robert Clancy. Listen to him. Go and get his stuff. Read what he's saying, and you'll find out, and then you can come and apologise to us. It's okay?
My mum lives in your electorate, and I don't want her exposed to people who are not going to be vaccinated
listen to Robert,
because of these crazy conspiracy theories that you're spreading.
Well, you're the one doing that because you are the one spreading misinformation, right? You've got to listen to the professors, listen to our most senior immunologists. And
so your Prime Minister is wrong, is he?
No, Prime Minister is 100% right.
He agrees with you.
I'm saying you are wrong.
Scott Morrison agrees with you, does he, Craig?
Listen to, my Prime Minister will speak for himself. Listen to the words of our most senior immunologist. Today, in the Sydney Morning Herald,
I'll listen to the Chief Medical Officer and all our health advisors.
Well, our health advisor has to be our most senior credentialed immunologist, Professor Robert Clancy, and he has said, Sydney Morning Herald today, Craig Kelly is absolutely right.
Does the Prime Minister agree with you, Craig?
Well, I don't know. You'll have to ask the Prime Minister. But I know.
Does he support you spreading this stuff?
Well, I'm not spreading anything. You are the people in the Labor Party that are spreading smear and slime and innuendo, and it has to stop.
We're supporting what the government line is.
It has to stop, right?
No, we're supporting what the government's saying.
You have to listen to our most highly respected immunologist in this country, Professor Robert Clancy, and he has said Craig Kelly is absolutely correct, and he said this should be rolled out in concert with the vaccine. So please, Tanya, please, stop spreading this misinformation.
And your health minister.
Stop spreading this information.
Do you agree with your Prime Minister and your health minister?
Tell your people in Labor to stop spreading disinformation about me, because they are the ones causing confusion in the public, and they are the ones that need to be reined in. Okay?
I agree with your Prime Minister and your health minister. Do you?
Well, of course I agree with my Prime Minister and my health minister.
So people should get vaccinated?
Of course, Tanya, everyone should go to their doctor. Young children, Tanya, should not wear masks. And that is what our health officers have decided.
Is it child abuse?
Our health officers in this country agree with me because we don't have mask mandates for children under 12.
Is the Chief Medical Officer engaged in crimes against humanity?
Of course not, Tanya. But we should make sure I want to make sure that these drugs that are being used overseas are available to Australia. And I hope we could do this in a bipartisan manner.
They've been proved inefficacious.
Tanya, no, I'm sorry, you're obviously not up with the science.
Yeah, I'm not listening to read the science. On the science,
no,
I'm not listening to you on the science.
You need to listen to the most senior qualified immunologist in this country, Professor Robert Clancy. Yeah. Right? That's who you need to listen to. Forget listening to Mark Butler, forget listening to Albo. These blokes have got no idea.
They've
got to follow the science.
From your health minister and your chief medical officer.
Go looks. Say, you don't have to go there. You actually have to go to this store over here. That interaction's frustrating. So, look, while I'm sick this last week, I've just been watching these attacks on Craig Kelly. And look, the most frustrating thing about that interaction is they could totally solve it if they just sat down and had a long-form discussion. Like, guys...
They don't want to solve it.
I know they don't.
Joel,
they really don't.
No. They know it's a lie. You know, Tanya knows it's a lie. Everybody knows it's a lie.
I don't know, Riccardo. I don't know these.
You're right.
These adults.
We don't know. They are either imbeciles or they are illiterate. Because there's only one of two options. They are imbeciles who cannot conceptualize what they're reading, or they cannot read.
Yep.
And if they can't read, they shouldn't be in the job. But the fact is, this is the kabuki theatre that everybody wants us to watch. Right? It's got nothing to do with this. Yeah. We've got that idiot Morrison saying, "Oh, I've heard good things about AstraZeneca," or "I haven't heard anything bad about." Prime Minister, how about you refer to a report now? Let me just bring up a point here.
Okay.
Right here. Let's solve that. This is a Sun Herald, New South Wales newspaper. Doctors push for camps, not hotels. Now, there's 2 points I want to get from this, and it relates to that interview you've just seen. We don't pay politicians just to listen to the chief health officer or the chief of the defence force or the chief anything. These are technical specialists. What a politician should do, what a statesman, we know what politicians do, they just take money out of your pocket and rape the system. What a statesman does is they take all the data, make a decision based on the best information, but they own that decision. They have to own it.
Yeah.
In the old days, we had this thing called ministerial responsibility, where if something cocked up, the minister resigned because they had ministerial responsibility. But then we had that loathsome Julia Gillard that said, "Oh, we took the best advice we could," as if you're just there handing out, "Oh, look, here's some advice." No, Julia, you take responsibility. Scott Morrison, you actually have to own your decision, right? But no, now it's just, "Oh, look, the specialist says, therefore that's what we're going to do."
So lazy.
So that exchange is complete nonsense.
Yeah.
Point number 2, I'll let you go on with this because I might get stuck in a Craig in a second.
Yeah.
But the point is, ignore it. Please ignore it. This is the circus they want. And if it's on Jesus, if it's on the Today Show, good God.
No, you've got to see this interaction. It's very frustrating.
It's frustrating on a whole new level for me because go on.
And this is the thing. Do you guys remember how Riccardo got really worked up about the military stuff because it's his area and because he knows these people on a first name basis? Well, I'm not saying I'm comparable to these people on these channels. I mean, they're a lot older than me. They've been at this for many years, but I do see myself as replacing these people over time. And it's very frustrating to see the adults don't exist. I'm convinced of it. I have not run into them. They don't exist. And you will see this from this interaction. It's short. You can check out the full conversation. I'm not going to play the 9-minute version. This is just a couple minutes, but this is basically,
I'd need an emetic if you did.
I forgot to check. I forgot to look up the name of this presenter, but she is absolutely terrible at this. I don't know what she's doing, but
she's an actor / model / newsreader.
It seems that way.
Yeah,
and it's like, just watch it, guys.
Craig, what's going on at the moment? Because I mean, why do you think it took the Prime Minister so long to haul you over the coals? Is there something going on?
Well, no, look, not at all. All I said, I have been publishing results of studies from overseas, opinion from overseas. And also, as I said, our most senior qualified immunologist in this country. Right now, people have been misrepresenting my position, and that's why I'm happy to come on and defend it, because a lot of things that are being said are completely untrue.
Craig, I looked into absolutely everything that you have put forward last night. As you requested the media to do and all of us to do is not to ignore what you're saying. Every single theory
so you read
was
35
debunked.
studies? Well, hang on. How can you say it is debunked?
Kids not wearing
How can you
masks.
say-
It's
Yeah,
one
well, that's-
study in
well, that's
Germany that
correct.
hasn't been peer-reviewed, not yet released.
And that is the reason
and the language
why.
you used wasn't true.
And that is the reason why in this country, unlike other countries, we do not put mask mandates on children under 12 because of the psychological and physical harm that it causes children. So the medical experts in that respect agree with me. And I don't want to see in this country, like we see in other countries, mask mandates upon children under 12. Because when you read the expert opinion, when you read the science, it says it causes them harm. And on that, as I said, our medical experts agree with me because we don't have any mask mandates in this country in children under 12.
Craig, we have seen deaths from COVID, we've seen sickness, we've seen mass job losses, hundreds of billions of dollars spent in government stimulus. All our hopes are riding on a vaccine.
Yes.
You need to be quiet.
Well,
Did she say you need to be quiet?
You need to be quiet. A sitting member of Parliament elected by over 100. Okay, this is what she said.
You need to be quiet.
well, if you don't want to listen to our most senior qualified
I am
immunologist
listening
in
to
this
them,
country,
and I
well,
think
you're-
you need
well,
to
you're not.
start listening
You
to our
just- you just
scientists
said- you
and
just
our
said-
doctors,
well,
Craig.
our scientist is our most senior qualified immunologist in this country,
Okay,
Professor
Craig.
Robert Clancy, and you are not listening to him. I'm sorry.
No worries, Craig. You're in a position of responsibility, and I think you're failing in that
And
duty.
I'll continue to speak the truth and tell the truth.
It'd be nice if you started, that would be
If the media want to
great. Thank you.
misrepresent my position, I'm going to come on and I'm going to defend it, because I will not have slander and smear and said against me when the facts are incorrect.
Okay, Craig. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
Yeah, wait.
It's been one of those mornings, hasn't it?
It's been a little
Let
bit
us know what you think at home about all of
No,
that.
you don't know what you don't want to know what I think.
You're all your COVID idiots, basically. That's what they're saying. Look at how they.
That's why they're called prostitutes.
Yeah.
Prostitutes, because a prostitute famously has power without any responsibility, right? Well, that's what these people are. He's an elected representative. He is required to speak out. I don't know who Bimbet is here.
Oh, my God. Who the hell elected her?
But you need to be quiet from the Bimbet. Oh, breathtaking.
This is how they look at
Now,
us.
what they're actually doing here, just so you're clear, and by these people are following orders like everybody else. They get idiots the useful idiots that Stalin spoke of. They need to attack Craig Kelly, because if they smash Craig Kelly, then every other politician who might be wavering will take a step back. So understand what's really at play here. They have to attack him, so anybody that even thinking of saying what he's saying will take a step back and continue collecting their stipend.
Yeah.
That's the real story.
Yeah, and by the end of the day, because I think this was the same day that the Tanya Plibersek thing happened. By the end of the day, he was pulled into the Prime Minister's office, and the Prime Minister said, "Tone it down." I don't know what they talked about, okay? Because for those of you who don't see the greater politics going on right now, there are pre-selections going on, and in the Liberal Party, unlike A1, in the Liberal Party, the way pre-selections work is it's basically done behind the curtain. And the only reason why Craig Kelly got the selection last time was because the Prime Minister intervened for the last election, just before they were going to cull him. Yet he's been in like since 2005 or something, Craig Kelly. He's been solid, going hard in the electorate of Hughes. Yet they're trying to get rid of him now, and it's so frustrating watching them go after him, because he's talking about 2 potential drugs, which I won't go into because it'll be banned. He's talking about 2 potential drugs which could help. And he's citing other experts, and he defers to the experts I'm sick of that guy's name he keeps saying. That's how many times he says it. Our chief immunologist in Australia. Yet we've got these snooty elites laughing at him, calling him an idiot, telling him to shut up. Like, this is the kind of thing we expect from the elites in America. It's here, guys. It's here. And it's very frustrating to watch because we keep warning about it. It's frustrating. It's so...
Kelly came within a hair's breadth of crossing the line into heroic. He really did. Because I get emails. It's not unusual to get an email or 2 or 3 saying, look, why don't you get Craig Kelly on A1? Why don't you get Craig Kelly on A1? Why don't you get Craig Kelly on A1? He had a choice. He could have told the Prime Minister to jam it where the sun don't shine and speak the truth.
Well, we don't know what he said.
No, but what he did do is he started retracting all his social media posts on...
Do we know that?
On this, yeah. And the point is this. All he needed to do was go, you know what? Remove my pre-selection. I will speak truth to power, which is his famous bollocks line about truth to power. No one speaks truth to power. Everyone's paid off. He had the opportunity at that moment. And this happens in life, folks. And let me tell you, you get the opportunity to step into the heroic, and 99 out of 100, forget it. What did Mark Twain say? Not one in 10,000. Not 1 in 10,000. Find the quote. Will actually step forward and say what's got to be said. Everybody retreats. And that's why these guys need to join up, because you've made that step into the heroic already.
Yeah.
But most people, he had the opportunity. This day will live in infamy for Craig Kelly, because he is now an example of why not one politician currently serving in the federal parliament, the 151 members of the lower house, the 76 senators, not one is worth spit. He could have been the one.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. He's still talking about Invictamin and all of that.
Well, until the Liberal Party throws him out and he mentions the truth about the vaccine, the truth about the pedophiles, the truth about fill in the blank, everything else that they've been covering up for years. Oh, because it's easy, we can change it from within. Give me a break, grow up. Every member of the Liberal Party, and I'm not talking about the great unwashed out there, the good people that turn up and hand out how to vote. All the people in positions of authority in the Liberal Party who think they can fix this fetid carcass and breathe life back into it.
Yeah.
All you are doing is damaging the nation, and you will be held to account. And that includes John Ruddock, a man for which I had great admiration. But his blind stupidity and failure to see the truth in front of his face, as well as branch presidents that I know, Liberal branch presidents, and for some reason, they have this willful blindness to the truth, and they lack what it takes to actually be an heroic leader. You know what they are? They're like the stadium. 100,000 people watching the 36 players on the field playing. And they all have great advice. You shut up, you don't know. You work at McDonald's. What do you know what it's like to be on the field?
Yeah. Well, what's that saying? 90%, what is it? 1% of the world is actually doing stuff. 9% watch them do it, and 90% ask what happened the next day.
Once again, at the risk of repeating myself,
Yeah.
Australia will only be saved if Australians stand up.
Yeah.
They don't get somebody else to stand up. You stand up. I got asked the other day on an interview, what do we got to do? And I said, don't write petitions.
Yeah.
Don't email anything.
Yeah.
Forget about social media because it doesn't count. A million followers means nothing. What you've got to do is you physically go to your state and federal MP's office. Ring up beforehand and say, I'd like an appointment with my MP, please. Yes, what would you like to talk about? I want to talk about why he's lying about COVID, why he's not revealing the pedophile names. Now, your average federal electorate has 100,000 people, rough numbers. Now, all you need is, you don't even need 100,000, you don't need 50,000. You get 5,000 people, that's 5%.
Yeah.
Make an appointment to see their local federal and state MP and say, I want to talk about why you're not talking about this, you're not talking about this, you're not... You will squeeze them till their eyes pop and you watch them change direction real fast. But you have to physically go down to the office and do it.
Yeah.
And don't take no for an answer. They work for you. And they'll give you all sorts of gobbledygook. They work for you. I did it with my state MP and I walked in and said, tell us the truth. And guess what he did? It was unbelievably refreshing. Now, I'm sure he wouldn't want it repeated on TV. If he wants to say it out loud, he can say that on TV. But squeeze them till their eyes pop. They work for you. You have no obligation to vote for them. You have no obligation to believe them. But put a finger in their face physically and do it. Craig had a moment. He was this close to heroic. And he faded.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with her. I think in time we'll see what happens. I'm just curious to see what happens with the pre-selections. But I'm really cut up about... See, I'm focused on the bigger problem I see here is why is there so much fear? Why is there so much of what's going on? I'm watching the media and what they are doing, and that's why I'm so keen. This is my way of addressing it. Media needs to be fixed. They really do. And the quote that comes to mind with that young lady on there is from Thomas Sowell. It's usually futile to try to talk facts and analysis to people who enjoy a sense of moral superiority in their ignorance. You guys make me sick. You really do. I believe you're being honest with me. I really do. But it's very frustrating. I just want to briefly mention a couple of these topics. This episode's going quite long because there's a lot to catch up on in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, I don't think they'll mind.